that you have every confidence in your system. You imagine that every trade's a winner. Okay, so you imagine the trade moving in your direction. So what you're doing here, you then start to visualize. Before you've even pulled the trigger on the trade, you've now said, okay, you've literally visualized, closed your eyes, you said, great, the gold price or the S&P or the euro yen. This is even before. Try this, guys. It's incredible. This is even before there's even a setup. Okay, close your eyes. You're visualizing. Try it. Try this. You're visualizing. You've drawn in your trend lines. You've looked at the fundamental information. You have your Fibonacci clusters intact. The euro price against the yen on a half an hour chart. Prices tested your 25% cluster from a large move, 40% cluster from a slightly bigger move, lesser bigger move, sorry, and then the 50%. So it's tested a cluster of 3 levels. Then also there's a bullish divergence intact. Then said, okay, this is all you're visualizing, right? Then you have your entry set up. It's a high probability play, 4% risk. You're trading with half a lot, and you now already have potential targets in place. This is visualizing still. You're visualizing, you close your eyes, you're visualizing, you're entering the trade, the market's moving in your favor, and you're managing the risk appropriately. So what happened here, like we always say, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's an imagination. So you're imagining actually winning every trade before you've actually entered the trade. It's quite phenomenal. Anyone watched a film called Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio? If you haven't, please watch that film. Incredible. But it paints a story that you're actually imagining already in your subconsciousness what's already happening. So, the next step. Yeah, it was a film called, just type up this film called Inception. And it was I think one of the main actors, Leonardo DiCaprio. Incredible film. Are you seen it? Yes. So, that paints the whole picture of visualization and the subconsciousness actually, imagining. Your brain actually doesn't know whether it's a reality or whether it's a dream. And that's the power of training your subconsciousness, training your mindset. It's quite incredible. Anyway, so also only exist in the present to control fear. Okay, so we know that fear and greed and indecision, fear as an emotion stronger than greed, we all know that. So generally when the market goes, we all have seen all the time in the market, why is it when the market really fearful, it sells off? Here we see massive sell-offs, right? So always, market when it's positive and it's greedy, the market will then go up the steps. But when it's fearful, it will literally go down the escalator or go down the elevator and really sell off. Always happens. Because as an emotion, fear is stronger than greed. So yes, we know that fear will always play a part, and the part will depend on the let's say the level that it plays, but it will always play a part in your decision making, regardless of whether you're the most successful hedge fund investor, whether you're managing a 50 billion fund. There will always be some form of fear. Just imagine someone like John Paulson, right, who amassed a fortune in the subprime crisis, but during that period, before the Lehman Brothers, before the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac situation, he held on to position. Yes, it all came to a close, not a close, but all really started 2008, right? And we can take a look here. If we pull up a S&P chart, S&P 500, let's go to a monthly chart. So really peaked out 2007, end of 2007, 8, it started to sell off. But John Paulson, as the market was increasing, as people were, as people are taking or receiving mortgages with bad credit, hence subprime, he had positions on, like during 2006. He had short positions on. Yeah, 2006. I think end of 2005, 2006. So he was in severe losses. The market was continually climbing, right? So what do you think was going through his mind? Do you think there was an element of fear there, guys? Do you think there was an element of fear in this situation? Exactly, brother. He had a set of balls, right? That, to be honest, in a certain market, if you're so fixated on one trend, you can get your whole account wiped out. But for some reason, this was a play of the century, and literally, it was just incredible how he still, as the market moved in the favour, he still stayed strong. Same scenario with Michael Burry. As the market, he had short positions on, and the market continued to move against him. They had investors that were calling and telling them to close the position. They were in huge losses. Close the positions. And what happens with a hedge fund? You have a lot of positions that you're locked into trades. So your accounts, you have a lockup period of 1 year, 2 year. So by law, even though you send an email to the hedge fund and say close the position, but if you're locked into it for a year, the hedge fund still has laws that he doesn't have to close out the position. So they held on to these positions, and then what happened? What was going through these guys' mind was courage, but also an element of fear, right? An element of what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? So, only exists in the presence of control fear. Very important. And then never second guess yourself after the battle. This is very crucial because there's so many times, and I'm sure you guys do this, maybe not on one occasion, where you've closed the position and you've taken a nice profit. So you've entered a long, taken a nice profit, you've closed the position, but then the market continues to go for the next few days. Then you say to yourself, oh, I wish I should have held on to the position. If I did, I would have made 4 times, or alternatively, and you've taken a loss, and then the market just stopped you out, and then it moved back in your favor, and then you would have made a phenomenal profit. You say, oh, I wish I would have had my stop lower down, and I would have taken a huge profit. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, yes? So never second guess yourself after the battle. Trade your plan your trade your plan, and it'll give you every opportunity, because there's no way you're going to buy the lows, sell the highs. You want to catch the meat of the move. I always say, catch the meat of the move. No one will be able to ever pick the lows, pick the highs of a move. Okay, it's quite simple.